everyone, and welcome to Explosive Hits Hexbug Battlebots Season 4. It's been 2 years since the last season. I know it's been a long wait for everyone, but we are finally back. We have even more robots this time, the weapons are even more powerful, and another announcer. Yeah, that's right. Joining me for this episode and all of the episodes is Driver 2. He's going to be doing a lot more commentary this season. And to give him his first test, let's see what he thinks about today's fight card. Alright, what are we looking at here?
The first fight that stands out to me is Hurricane versus Warhead. It's going to be a fight of the heavy horizontal spinners.
Yeah, this fight should be interesting. Both of these bots have 6 losses on their explosive hits record. Neither of them are known for performing well, but they both give entertaining fights, especially Hurricane, so that's going to be a fun one to watch.
The next one that stands out is a redesigned Hypershock versus Tombstone II. Hypershock's redesign looks like it's going to be a very interesting bot to watch this year.
Yeah, the last time we saw Hypershock, their weapon couldn't even do damage to their opponents. Now they're a lot bigger, they've got a much more powerful spinner, 4-wheel drive, and they're going to have to take on the powerful metal blade of Tombstone II. And all this action is going to climax at the end of the night, where we will see Monstrosity take on Whiplash. This fight is going to be interesting. A lot of people are probably going to look at Monstrosity and say, oh, there's our winner right there, but this could actually be a pretty even fight. The last time we saw Monstrosity, it was struggling to do damage to Bronco and eventually lost by getting flipped over. Because remember, as powerful as Monstrosity is, they cannot self-fight. So all Whiplash needs is just one good lift, and they can end this fight for Monstrosity. But they're going to have to get through that devastating spinner, which I heard got an upgrade this year. It's going to be even more powerful than it was last year.
But first, we're going to kick things off with Blue Rotato versus Railgun Max. Railgun Max lost a lot of fights last year because of their treads, so they're going to try out Wheels against Blue Rotato, who had a pretty average season last year with 2 wins and 2 losses.
Yeah, Blue Rotato, we saw it had a really powerful spinner last year, but that they couldn't get much success with it. Had a few weak wins and close losses. Their undercutter would be especially troublesome for a bot using treads, so a smart decision by Railgun Max to use Wheels for this fight. There's also, before we get to that first fight, however, there's another cool statistic I want to show you. These are the top 5 winners of explosive hits. These are the bots who have the most wins in the competition. You see a lot of big names on here, specifically Duck, Bite Force, and Bronco, all with double-digit amounts of wins. These are kind of like the big 3 of explosive hits. Every bot on this list is going to be a bot to watch out for this year.
And then we have Monstrosity and Gamma 9. They have a lower number of wins, but keep in mind they weren't around for Season 1, so their average is actually pretty high.
Alright, enough chit-chat. Let's get on to the first fight. I'm sure you've all been waiting so long for this. Let's head to the battle box. Let the bot battle begin.
Oh, it's not a good box to us.
Yeah, we got some weapon action though.
And pieces flying already.
Look at the back wedge of Railgun Max. Alright, Blue Rotato a little out of control. This is part of what prevented them from winning more often last season.
So many pieces gone so early. Is this a sign of what the season's going to be like?
I hope so. The weapon collisions seem to be kind of even. Railgun Max is doing some damage, landing some good hits.
Both bots do not have great control.
Yeah, look at that. Blue Rotato went straight into the wall. Does he even know what his opponent is?
There's a push.
Didn't work. Blue Rotato looks like he's kind of charging and then turning after Railgun Max. Not sure how much that's going to work. He seems to be landing a lot of hits on the wheels. Uh-oh. Is Railgun Max's weapon shut off? Is it disabled, or are they just pulling it off temporarily?
Well, looks like it's disabled.
Well, if so, that's going to be some major damage points for Blue Rotato.
They seem to be having some serious issues also.
Railgun Max is starting to fall apart. that undercut on Blue Rotato more powerful than it seems. It can do more than just rip off pieces.
Looks like they're either high-centered or have one of the wheels is stuck.
The Blue Rotato hit Railgun Max hard enough to be able to completely disable their wheel. Like, look at this, they're having drive problems. Trying to cut underneath.
Drive problems is what messed them up last year.
Oh, they're just barely hanging on here. Oh, they almost pushed Blue Rotato against that wall. They can barely control themselves. They're doing just enough to not get counted out.
They can drive anywhere they want as long as it's in a circle.
Well, Blue Rotato being stuck. They're undercutting. Railgun Max looks like it's completely disabled here. That's going to be a knockout if they can't get free. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is a knockout on Railgun Max. Well, it's great to be back.
Yes, it is. This match was pretty even at the start, with both bots exchanging hits and taking damage.
Yeah, but then Railgun Max's lack of durability started to show. First their weapons stopped working, and then they started having problems with their drive. All the while, Blue Rotato just kept on attacking and hitting their wheels, which eventually led to them being unable to move in the corner and getting counted out.
Railgun Max might not be the toughest opponent, but nonetheless, this win was impressive for Blue Rotato. Well, I think that fight went the way we expected it to go.
Yeah, Blue Rotato out of control, but that spinner was just so powerful. It was able to disable Railgun Max's drive just by repeatedly hitting it on the wheels. You don't see a lot of bots being able to do that.
Up next, we have Terabyte versus Blacksmith.
Talk about two bots who had a disappointing last season. Terabyte just could not get their weapon up to speed. They went 0-3, absolutely horrible performance. They lost a Minotaur of all bots. And then Blacksmith also went 1-2. They got devastated by Tombstone and Witch Doctor II, who, although they're both very powerful opponents, they were coming off a win against Bite Force last year, so we all expect them to do good. And then they only won their last fight against Sortoslot because Sortoslot got stuck underneath the screws. I don't even know if they did anything at all up until that point. But now we're going to see these two fight. Hopefully they've improved since then. But let's head to the battle box to find out right now. Let the bot battle begin.
There's a box rush.
Terabyte's weapon is getting stuck. Oh no, they're falling apart.
Looks like he was stuck on a piece of Tombstone.
After their abysmal season last year, Terabyte's gotta get something going this year. They can't fall apart again. Oh, their weapon actually seems to have some power.
Uh-oh, they're spinning up.
Alright, they're starting to knock Blacksmith around. Blacksmith, they need to... Oh, did you see
Good
that?
hit.
That was a... Oh man, it really had an effect on Blacksmith. That just gave Terabyte more time to spin up.
I think he was stunned. He was shocked he got hit so hard.
Alright, Terabyte's starting to come back. Uh-oh, they put themselves in the corner. The Blacksmith couldn't capitalize. If Blacksmith can pin Terabyte against the wall like they almost did there, then they can win this fight. If not, it's going to be an uphill battle. Oh, there's some hits. Oh, it was Terabyte who's doing the pushing there. I haven't seen much. Oh, there it is. The weapon's back on.
Blacksmith's landing a few hammer hits, but they don't seem to do much damage.
Yeah, all Terabyte has lost is the two back pieces that fell off at the start of the fight. I'm going to be honest, Terabyte hasn't done any damage to Blacksmith either. The Blacksmith is ahead. They've been landing some big hits, but actual damage, not much.
There was a good rush.
Yeah, if they can consistently do that, this fight is there. Oh, starting to send Terabyte around. Terabyte escapes though. Blacksmith is stuck in the corner. Another big hit.
Another big hit, but no damage to Blacksmith.
Yeah, Blacksmith is a tank. Except for that one fight last year where they managed to lose every single piece. Maybe that means Terabyte Or doesn't have a very powerful weapon. Alright, they have 1 minute to do some damage to Blacksmith. Blacksmith spinning around. Are they having drive problems? We saw a bot have drive problems earlier. Terabyte, are they? They're trying to aim on the side so they can rip that wedge off of Blacksmith, but that is just not happening.
That's a good hit.
Good weapon-to-weapon shot. Blacksmith starting to lose control. That could have an effect on the scorecard if this fight does go the distance. Well, back and forth hits, but still no damage. We want to see some damage. Everybody does. Terabyte, don't hit the wall. Alright, 10 seconds, so this will go the distance.
Come on, one more hit.
It spun Blacksmith around. He hit right at the edge of that wedge, but sadly, he did not do any damage. There was a lot to talk about for this fight. It started off as a back and forth battle, with Terabyte going from struggling to spin up to throwing Blacksmith around the arena.
Surprisingly, there was not a lot of damage taken in this fight, even though there were a lot of hits exchanged.
That is true. Terabyte's hits may have looked impressive, but they really didn't do anything to limit Blacksmith's functionality.
At the end of the fight, Blacksmith took no damage and the weapon never stopped working. That just might give them the edge in the judge's decision.
Only one way to find out. Let's head back to the battle box and see the decision now. The results from the judges are in. We have a unanimous decision. And your winner is Blacksmith. Well, it was a close decision, but it looks like Blacksmith is going to start its season off with a win, and Terabyte, being the sad spinner that it is going to continue its losing streak.
And speaking of spinners, our next fight has none. Superscoop versus Rusty.
A hammer versus a flipper. Rusty is a new design we've got here. They're kind of like picture Blacksmith if it had a lot more reach, but no ground game. Actually, yeah, that's all it is. Blacksmith without the ground game. And he's got a kind of funny shape to it. Let the bot battle begin. Oh, come on, Rusty, wake up. We're already flipped.
Well, he got flipped in the first second of the fight. But he's already doing damage.
Yeah, well, Superscoop closing in behind him. His flipper, well, it didn't really work. Oh, now he's underneath. There goes another piece of Superscoop. He's lifting Rusty up.
Is Rusty going to get flipped out of the arena?
He's trying to give him a better view of the arena. Oh, Superscoop got him over by that corner. Oh, what could this lead to? Oh, now Rusty's on his side. He's missing a few
Rusty's
pieces.
in trouble.
He's flopping around. He managed to get back up. Superscoop tosses him into the scoop. He's stuck. Oh, but he got free.
I think that was the best stick we've seen on Explosive Hits.
Yeah, he just walked right up to him and got him stuck. I love the way Rusty just flops around and is able to right itself after getting flipped over. Oh, we're missing a tread. But he can still move pretty well.
He's still hitting pretty hard, even though he's only hitting the floor.
Okay, he just did a 360. His tread is completely chewed up in there. Superscoop trying to flip him around. Good job by Rusty to get out of that corner. Oh, he's got him in the corner again. Trying to... Okay, there's no way he's going to throw him out of the arena, is there? It's so close. Oh, he gets Superscoop. He's stuck. Yeah, that was weird. Looked like Superscoop got stuck next to Rusty. Look at the way he's able to just push Rusty around. There's not much Rusty can do. Seems like he's trying to stay away from the side of the arena where he can get thrown out of the arena. Superscoop's still all over him.
Starting to feel sorry for Rusty.
Yeah, look at him there. Rusty didn't ask for this. He's taking out his frustration on the screw. That's the problem with having one tread. You can't hit your opponent. Superscoop As we enter the final 40 seconds of the fight, it looks like they're holding back with their flipper a bit. Oh, never mind, there's a hit. But now Rusty's stuck on their own thread. Rusty over by the corner. Superscoop. I don't know if they were trying to get Rusty out of the arena. Alright. 14 seconds left. There's a time for Rusty. Rusty's trying to line it up for him. Is he trying to get himself killed? It looks like Superscoop just didn't get there in time. And now we're going to end this fight with Rusty on its side and flailing around helplessly.
Wow. Have you ever seen a bot get thrown around that much in a fight?
Maybe during Duck vs. Witch Doctor 2 from Season 2, but I still think this fight had more flips than that fight. This was just a non-stop barrage of flips from Superscoop delivered to Rusty, and it was really funny to watch too. Rusty would flap around every single time they landed upside down. They'd throw themselves around the arena. It was just hilarious to see.
Well, I think we all know who won this fight, but the real question is, did Rusty spend more time on its side or on its treads?
The results from the judges are in. The winner by unanimous decision is Superscoop.
Well, that fight was certainly entertaining.
Yeah, what a performance by Superscoop. I don't think I've ever seen them get that many flips in a single fight. What a humiliating way for Rusty to get introduced to Explosive Hits Hexbug Battlebots. Alright, up next we've got the fourth fight of our episode, which I often refer to as the sub-main event, because we take two bots who are pretty powerful and look like they could be in a main event together, but they're not as exciting as the actual main event, which is of course Monstrosity versus Whiplash, which we will see later tonight, which I actually just realized is a battle of the two semi-finalist finishers from last year. So if this fight took place last year, it could be a third place battle. But yeah, anyway, up next we've got another exciting battle between a vertical spinner and horizontal spinner in Tombstone II versus Hypershock.
I am excited to see Hypershock's new design in action.
So am I. Let's see it right now. Let the bot battle begin. Oh wow, Hypershock pretty fast, getting Tombstone II in the screws. Already missing a piece.
Hypershock showing a lot of control already.
Oh, they're getting lifted up. Alright, Tombstone II is out. Hypershock all over them. Man, look at how fast and powerful this new design is. Tombstone II, they're already struggling to move. Why is that? Oh, now they're working again. They just got stunned. Looks like there's nothing Tombstone II can do to Hypershock though. They're getting controlled. Can't do any damage. There's nowhere to run. Well, actually now there is. But that hit did nothing, and now they're getting stuck again.
And here's the hammer.
Tombstone II, they're just trapped in there. Hypershock is definitely ahead on this fight. The weapon spun up. Uh-oh.
That was a pretty good hit.
Uh-oh, Tombstone II, its blade is starting to stop after it hits Hypershock.
Well, I'm pretty sure every bot entered this tournament with full batteries.
That was a nice little pop. Hypershock getting stuck in the screws there. Are they starting to get out of control? Maybe they feel sorry for Tombstone. So they want to know what it's like to be out of control. Tombstone II, there's the one time they got their weapon up to speed, they ran into the wall. This fight is not going their way at all. There's another pin by Hypershock. You can do that for 10 seconds before you must release. Hypershock, not too keen on releasing. They might be stuck.
Hypershock appears to be unresponsive. The weapon isn't even spinning.
If that's the case, then we're going to have to do an unstick. Alright, when that clock reaches 0, we can resume the fight. Let the bot battle resume. Tombstone is free. Hypershock is not moving at all. I don't know what happened to them, but This is gonna be a KO. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Tombstone appears to be
1.
holding a grudge.
That is a knockout on Hypershock. Tombstone II, although it was getting pushed around throughout the majority of this fight, ends up with the win.
Well, I, for one, am disappointed.
So am I. That was kind of a bad showing for both of these bots. Tombstone II struggled to drive, struggled to get its weapon up to speed. I mean, of course, Hypershock was very fast, but they still didn't look too good. And Hypershock, they dominated the fight, but then they just died out of nowhere. That was so odd. But, oh well, we've never known Hypershock to be a top contender anyway. This does not surprise me.
So Tombstone 2 starts their season with a win. And it looks like even a new design couldn't get Hypershock a victory.
We actually saw something similar last year. Of course, you don't remember it because that fight never made it to YouTube, but in Tombstone 2 versus Riptide, it kind of ended the same way. Riptide was doing well, but then they just died out of nowhere.
Somebody better check Tombstone 2 for an EMP device.
Alright, up next we've got Warhead versus Hurricane. This is going to be a good one. We got two incredibly powerful horizontal spinners going at it, so let's see it. Let the bot battle begin. Here comes Warhead box rushing Hurricane. We know Hurricane needs some space to get that bow spun up. Warhead not too keen on giving them that space. We're already seeing lots of pieces flying.
This is going to be a good fight if both bots can get spun up.
Well, it looks like, well, I was gonna say it looks like Warhead has the faster spin-up time, but now the weapon has an infinitely long spin-up time because it just won't spin.
There goes Hurricane.
Yeah, Warhead never fails to disappoint us every time it fights. And they lost their back wedge immediately. Hurricane, though, is that weapon starting to slow down?
There's pieces all over the arena, and I don't think Hurricane has been up to full speed yet.
I don't know if they'll get up to full speed. Look at how slow their weapon is spinning. I hope they weren't trying to spin it while their motor was being Uh-oh. Hurricane is stuck in the screws. Warhead, it looks like he's trying to free them, but it looks like he's just not able to. You know, we saw this with Hurricane last year. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a knockout on Hurricane. Warhead gets its second ever win.
I am disappointed again.
So am I. Again, we once again get a fight where it felt like Warhead won. So we have Warhead, whose weapon stops walking. I don't know why. And then Hurricane, who gets stuck in the screws. That was kind of like the last fight. We have one bot whose weapon barely walks, and the other one who's doing fine, and then just dies at the end.
Let's hope these last two fights can redeem the rest of the episode.
Well, up first, we've got Emulsifier taking on Shatter. They've kind of got an experimental tread design. We haven't really seen anything like this on Explosive Robotics. They got a really wide frame compared to the other tread bots. They got a huge front wedge and then a nasty vertical spinner in the middle of it. They are powered with the same voltage that Monstrosity has, so we might expect to see some huge hits delivered in this one.
And then we have Shatter, a similar design to Blacksmith, with forks instead of a wedge and a lighter hammer.
Shatter had moderate success last year. They got 2 wins before losing to Bite Force, which is no shame in doing that, but then ultimately did not make the tournament after losing to Riptide in the qualifying match. So we got 2 bots without many accomplishments taking on each other. Let's see which one comes out on top. Let the bot battle begin. Emulsifier is pretty fast. Already got Shatter in a pin. Up against the wall. See what kind of damage they can do with that vertical spinner.
I think Shatter has the lightest hammer of all the hammer bots.
Yeah, it's probably right. And here comes the heaviest hammer out of anything in this competition.
Shatter's armor held up.
Emulsifier just knocked its own top piece off. Uh-oh. Is Emulsifier having a problem with this thread? Yeah, I think it is. That's the problem with this new design they're trying. They got Shatter in the screws. Look at that. Shatter's trying to hold on to the edge of the arena.
And Shatter makes it out.
No damage to Shatter, surprisingly. Let's see how powerful that spinner of Emulsifier really is. Uh-oh!
Now Emulsifier in the screws.
Shatter gonna meet them. Emulsifier pushing right back. And then swings around to land some hits with that spinner. And more hits. I think Emulsifier might be the one in control of this fight. I mean, they lost their threads. Oh, there goes a piece of Shatter. It's back. Alright, Emulsifier. If Emulsifier can stay moving throughout this fight, then that'll be good for them. If not, then they're going to be counted out. Alright, they are actually getting enough movement. You know, I just remembered something. Shatter's forks were quite good at removing the threads off of other bots last year. They did the Tangerine, they did the Railgun Max, so this might have actually been a very bad matchup for Emulsifier. They're spinning around in circles, barely avoiding a count out, but it doesn't look like Shatter is doing a whole lot to them. Uh-oh.
Looks like Shatter was trying to line up with the thread perfectly, and it doesn't seem to be working.
Almost got it there. He's not gonna... Well, now he is. He's trying to attack the thread that isn't damaged. Emulsifier trying to escape Shatter. Alright, Shatter's the clear aggressor from now on. Emulsifier, they've been kind of partially incapacitated since the halfway point. There goes the second piece off of Shatter. Emulsifier's weapon starting to rack up the damage. Oh, the forks are coming loose. There's a ton of damage being done by Emulsifier now. They're still on. Shatter lining up some hammer shots, but the forks are coming off. Emulsifier can barely move. And this fight is going to end up going the distance. We're seeing some movement from Emulsifier again. Are they able to move backwards just fine? And that's it. Well, this just goes to show it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hits, and what's the rest of the saying? I forgot.
It's everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
I don't think that's the same thing. Also, that wouldn't work because Emulsifier kind of just started slowly falling apart. Like, they didn't get instantly destroyed by one hit.
Well, they probably had a plan until they started losing pieces and couldn't drive.
Well, they probably had a plan after that. Like, their plan changed from go at Shatter and hit them with my spinner to try not to get counted out and still face Shatter with my spinner. And I'm gonna be honest, that plan actually worked pretty well. They kept facing Shatter with their spinner and did some more damage. But Shatter kept control throughout the entire fight. I think damaging that thread on Emulsifier is gonna really help them in the decision.
Well, that's certainly the way it looks from here. Let's go to the judges now for that decision.
The results from the judges are in. We have a split decision. Judge 1 scored the battle for Shatter. Judge 4 scored the battle for Emulsifier. Judge 2 scored the battle for your winner, Shatter.
Well, that decision was even closer than Blacksmith versus Terabyte.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting match, or at least I thought so. Some people might have thought that last minute and a half was pretty boring, but I liked it. Anyway, now we've got our last fight of the night, our main event between Monstrosity and Whiplash. I think this fight really could go either way, so let's look at the comparison here. As you can see here, both of these bots' strengths seem to counter each other's weaknesses. Whiplash will actually not be using the spinner for this fight. They're going to want to have more room to get underneath Monstrosity with that lifter, flip him over, and then end the fight right there. Meanwhile, Monstrosity, they got that massive spinner, which received an upgrade this year. They're going to try and beat up Whiplash throughout the entire fight. If they can't knock him out, they're going to have a good chance of winning the decision based on damage, because Whiplash is not capable of doing much damage with just that lifter.
It's going to be an exciting one for sure. Let's head to the box.
Let the main event begin. Alright, Monstrosity and Whiplash. Powerful wow. Whiplash explodes right from the start. Now, how much more powerful is Monstrosity? Have they ever been able to do a hit back in on Explosive Hits? Oh, look at that. And that's going to be it. Monstrosity sends Whiplash out of the arena in the first main event of the season, and he does that all in under 30 seconds. So you know that weapon upgrade we were talking about for Monstrosity? That's it. That's what they're going to be like for the rest of the season.
Blink and you miss it.
I didn't think Monstrosity could get any more powerful, but what we just saw in there was unbelievable.
There were two huge hits from that fight that everyone is going to remember. The first was at the beginning. Monstrosity and Whiplash go head to head. They're all calm. And then Whiplash just gets sent across the arena and loses all of its pieces. And then the next one, the big one, here's Monstrosity. Whiplash backing up. Monstrosity sends them into the corner. Whiplash tries to escape, but then boom! They get sent over the wall and out of the arena. That is just unreal to watch.
Monstrosity sending a message to everyone else this year. Stay away from me.
Okay, wow.
What were you saying about this fight being able to go either way?
Yeah, I guess I was wrong. That spinner on Monstrosity was more powerful than anyone could have imagined. Whiplash just could not deal with it and ended up getting thrown over the wall and out of the arena. What do you think? You think Monstrosity is a legitimate contender for the Giant Nut this year? I mean, they always get the 1 seed, but they've never actually won. What do you think they're going to do this year?
I think they're going to take the whole thing. If they can keep their bot together for the whole season.
Well, I'm going to remember this prediction and remind you of it on Championship Night. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. There were some pretty exciting fights. Some of them weren't as exciting, but overall, I really like the assortment of fights we had today. I will see you next week in the next episode of Explosive Hits Hexbug Battlebots.